Hi, I'm Bev Hetzing. I'm known as the Message Maestro, and I have worked with fintech companies and other women who work in tech companies to look at how they pitch for funding and being able to deliver that pitch with some clarity and some confidence in order to get the funding that you need from investors. And one of the issues a lot of people have in any tech type of industry is sometimes the complexity of the information they're trying to give is difficult for them to translate into a message that as an audience or an investor or even a buyer or a client is able to understand. So this short video is just to go through some of the basics to think about when you are pitching for funding, because you will need to pitch from investors. A lot of the tech stuff is going to take a lot of money, a lot of time, and to upscale, you're going to need that extra investment. So you need to pitch and you need to get it right. So you have 2 to 3 minutes to shine, possibly less, but I haven't yet worked with anyone who had more than 3 minutes to pitch. And that is not a lot of time, especially if you are using overheads or slides or something else or demonstration to prove your point. So bear in mind that in 2 to 3 minutes, you cannot tell them everything. It's impossible. They will ask questions for the bits extra that they need, but you cannot tell them everything. So you have to figure it out. You do need to tell them what they need to know. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but so often I have sat through pitches and realized that people haven't stopped to think about, as an investor, what am I looking for? You need to value your business accordingly. And we've all watched Dragon's Den when they've gone, how much do you think your business is worth? Think about that. Really consider what you're asking for and the share option you're offering, and work out that cost, that value of your business. They do need to see you in the pitch. These people are going to be working with you. So they need to know as much about you and trust in you and feel a connection with you as humanly possible. So don't hide behind anything. They want to see you. They want to see you in the pitch. They will need to know about the product. They will need to know what this app or this product or this new service, whatever it may be, is going to achieve. That's the whole point. And you need to be confident. They need to know that you're confident in what you're doing. And that's quite important, because if you're apologizing for it and a bit nervous, then why is anybody going to give you however much money you're asking for? So let's start. What I often say to the people I coach when it comes to pitching, brain dump. Get it all out of your head. Because if it's in your head, you're going to try and say it to everybody, say all of it. So get it out of your head. Dump it on a piece of paper or a dry whiteboard, however you want to do this, and literally get it all out there, all the bits that you feel that you need to tell somebody. And when you've done that, you're going to sort of shift it around and decide what is really important, what is imperative I need to say, and put a nice, either color code it or a nice star, however you want to do that. Stuff that would be good to share if you have the time in that 2 to 3 minutes, and then really identify the stuff that you do not need to say in the pitch, that doesn't actually complement what you are trying to say to the investor. Now, you must know these things. I'm sorry, you must. Really, really must. I've been in universities sitting on panels with people doing masters in entrepreneurship, and they're pitching, and know your research. Do your research. Know your research. Don't come up with something that someone, an investor can say, well, that's already been done 100 times before. Know your research. And if it is something that's quite prevalent, then you need to know why yours is different. You must know your why. It's part of your story. It's part of what they're buying into. Why have you developed this? Why did this idea come about? What is it about this product that is so important? You must know your numbers. You really must. You must know your profit and loss. You must know your estimated sales. You must know this stuff. It's difficult for startups. If you're a scale up, you've got absolutely no excuse. As a startup, though, you have got to do your homework, and that's where your research comes in. Because if you know why you're doing what you're doing, if you've recognized a gap in the market or a problem that needed solving, you've done your research, you will know how many people are likely to need or buy this stuff. So really understand your numbers. And on top of that, understand the timeline. How long is this going to take? If someone's going to invest, you know, £200,000 or £300,000 in you to develop something, how long is that going to take? How long is the scale up going to take? How long is the launch? Know your timeline. And what I always say to everyone who pull this together is know your stuff. You know about the product, you know it inside out. Know your stuff, but this other stuff has to be part of what you must know. So what is your pitch? Well, it's a mini story, a really mini story. It's an introduction to something, and it's an introduction to something that's going to make money. All right, this isn't a philanthropic idea that actually is never going to make a penny, because an investor is not going to give you any money to make no money. If it's truly some sort of community thing, then go look for charity funding. But this is about investors and tech. So it's about how it's going to make money. It's an introduction of you yourself, to potential investors. Can they work with you? Do they want to work with you? Do they think actually they're going to be throwing their money against a wall, or it's going to be really safe in your hands? A lot of the times you're selling an idea. If you haven't got the product up and running and you're in development stage, you're selling an idea. That's not an easy thing to do, which is why I go back to research, know your stuff, know your numbers. So this is the structure. I put at the bottom there, not necessarily in this order, but these are the things you need to get into that 2 or 3 minutes, right? So your name in the business, obviously, because they need to know who you are. They want to know what you're asking for. Simple as, you know, if you're asking for £200,000 or £300,000, if you're asking for 50, they want to know what you're asking for. They want to know why. Why did you come up with that idea? Where did it come from? Was there a gap in the market? Is there a problem you've come across that needed solving and nobody has done that yet? Where has the idea come from? And the problem it solves. And the bigger the problem it solves in terms of people, the better. If it only solves one huge problem for one or a few people, then the idea they're going to make much money from it isn't so great. So often they're looking for something that is going to impact on a lot of people, nationally or globally, a lot of people. So a lot of online tech, a lot of medical tech, a lot of financial tech is because it will impact on vast numbers of people. They're going to want to know, you know, how much money can be made. And that comes into the valuation of your business. You know, if you're asking for 20, 30,000 or 200,000 for 25% or 10% or 5%, whatever it may be, and for how long before they get their money back. So really think about how much money they're going to make from it. And it's not always just about the money. Sometimes it's about being at the forefront of something. So it has to be around, this is why. But it is about likely sales projections. And that's really how much money can be made, is all wrapped up in that. What is the future sales projection going to be like? That's where that all comes in. And that's what they're looking for. So it doesn't, name and business first, I have to say, but you know, it's about crafting this mini story together that gives them the information they need within 2 to 3 minutes for them to even be interested enough to go, I want to find out more. Because if they're not interested in that 2 to 3 minutes, it doesn't matter how great you are or your product is or everything else, they may have switched off, and the next person coming in is likely to get the funding. And they are going to ask questions. That's what your call to action is. Any other questions? So make sure, sit and consider every conceivable question they could ask you, and make sure you've got an answer to it. That is the important thing. Make sure you have an answer to every conceivable question. And that's about knowing your stuff. And if you need any more help, this is where you can find me. And, you know, you can email me, you can find me on social media. If you just want to talk through something, that's what I'm here for. So I hope that's been just a little bit of an introduction into how you approach a pitch for funding. And bear in mind that the more money you want, the slicker that pitch has to be, okay? So I hope that helps. And thank you for downloading the video and watching it. And if you have any feedback for me, let me know. But good luck for the future.